Hello you guys, what is up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, my name's Emily. And I literally cannot believe that I'm even sitting here right now filming this video. Obviously, I'm filming a Q&A today, but the reason for my Q&A is because I've never filmed a Q&A before, so I thought that what would be the more perfect occasion than my 1-year YouTube anniversary to sit down and film a Q&A for you guys. I just cannot even believe that it has been an entire year since I started my YouTube channel, and thinking about where I was a year ago when I started this channel and thinking about like my expectations going into it, like it has been everything I thought it was going to be and more, and I am so glad that I started this journey. Before we get into it, if you have not already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on my post notifications so that you never miss when I post a new video. But like I said, I'm going to be doing a Q&A. I asked you guys on Instagram some questions, and I got a lot of good questions. Some are very random, some are about YouTube, some are about my job, some are about like my personal life, and like I said, I just thought that it would be awesome to finally do a Q&A. I'm sure I'm gonna talk a lot in this video, so let's just get right into it. So the first one that I'm gonna answer is, what made you want to start a YouTube channel? So when I wanna say like a junior in high school, I was super into makeup. I actually just got rid of a lot of my makeup palettes because I don't use them as much anymore. Unfortunately, I just don't have the time to sit down and do my makeup like I used to. I was so into makeup, I cannot even tell you guys, and I really wanted to start a makeup channel because I absolutely loved like Carly Bybel, Jaclyn Hill, Kathleen Lights, Jeffree Star, and I still watch all of them. I just am not into makeup myself as much. So I started a channel in high school. Actually, it's not this one, it was a different one that I don't use anymore, and I only ever uploaded 2 videos. I didn't really know how important consistency was. I was okay at editing, but I just didn't stick to it. But in terms of this channel, I wanted to start it because when COVID hit, I really didn't have anything to do. I was stuck in my parents' house. I had just left my college town, which was really hard. It was my senior year when COVID hit, and I had to move home away from all of my friends, and I just was really bored. I was working a part-time job at the time. I had not started my full-time job yet. I knew that this was something that I had always wanted to do, and I was watching a lot of vloggers during this time because, again, we were in quarantine and I had nothing else to do, and I thought, you know, what would be a better time to start a YouTube channel than now? Obviously there is so much pain and grief and horrible things that came out of COVID, but I hope that everybody can find at least, you know, one good thing that came out of it, and honestly this is one of the good things that came out of it for me. I don't know if I would have started a channel if it wasn't for being quarantined. I would like to think that I would, but it really was just being stuck in the house that pushed me. And you know, people always used to tell me in college, you should start a YouTube channel, you would be great at being a vlogger and things like that, but I just never, I don't know, I never believed in myself enough. So the next question is, how do you balance YouTube and a full-time job? It's hard. Honestly, it is hard, but it's so rewarding and it's so worth it. I was actually talking to my friend earlier today about this, and I'll go into my schedule in a second, but I think that the main thing that keeps me motivated having a full-time job and my channel is that I am the type of person that, like, honestly, I don't like downtime. When I have a lot of time to sit around and do nothing, I get really anxious. I'm just like a very go, like, have to be productive at all times, or else, like I said, I get anxious, and I am trying to work on that. I used to be a lot worse about it. I've kind of started to get myself to be a little bit more calm of a person over the last few years, but I think that if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I just don't know what I would do with that extra time right now. And so I really like that it keeps me busy. But in terms of managing the time, basically what I do is, obviously there are days that I vlog throughout my work day, and so that is kind of integrated within my day already. It does take more time than you would think, but it doesn't take so much time that it takes away from my job. Obviously, I would not be doing that if it was taking away from my job, but just vlogging here and there throughout the day when I'm working for my work vlogs. I also will vlog on the weekends, but then when I do sit down videos like this, I always film them on my lunch breaks. I have the pleasure of working from home, so I'm able to film on my lunch breaks, and that definitely makes it easier. And then I normally edit every Tuesday night and every Friday or Saturday because I have videos go up on Wednesdays and Sundays. So it definitely is being very organized. That's really all there is to it. Time blocking, making sure that you have a schedule. And honestly, I think that the reason that I'm able to manage it so well is because, like I said, I am definitely one of those people who, if I'm not busy at all times, I kind of go stir crazy. And so I think that honestly, that's just a part of my personality that's really helped me manage having a full-time job and my YouTube channel. Going along with that, somebody asked me how I manage work-life balance and how I manage stress at work, and I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand. I definitely think that in terms of stress at work, making a to-do list and time blocking really helps. I've said this before, but my job is so ridiculously demanding sometimes, and it can be very hard and very stressful. But I think just finding out what works for you personally to calm you down. Like, I really like listening to podcasts or music. But the main thing that I think de-stresses me from work is how organized I force myself to be, because then it doesn't let things pile up. Now, if I have something come up that stresses me out, like a certain situation goes wrong or something like that, I honestly think just taking a second to step back from the situation and like giving yourself a few minutes, an hour if you can, 30 minutes, however long it takes you to kind of like reevaluate the situation. That's always what I try to do, because I find that if I react right away, I'm normally so worked up and then it just makes it worse. So I think that just like taking a little bit of time to like try to calm yourself down is so important. I don't know if that really helps, but that's kind of my logic behind it. But in terms of work-life balance, I really just think that prioritizing your you time is so important. I'm so thankful that my boss and the head of our department are very, I don't know if strict is the right word, but basically strict about everybody in the department making sure that we're taking time for ourselves. And I know that I'm very blessed to have a corporation that is run with leaders like that I work for, because that's definitely not the case. I've been in jobs before where the bosses, managers, leaders are not like that, and it's very hard. But even if you don't have a manager that is like mine and really wants to prioritize their employees' work-life balance, just make it a point. Like, don't let that you time be taken up by anything else. Literally schedule your you time as if it's a meeting, and that's what I found helps the most. Okay, now for some lighter ones. I thought that doing some fun lighter ones would be nice. I know I started out with like 3 or 4 pretty hefty questions. Going along with my job again, what is your favorite thing about your job? Honestly, probably working remote, and I know that everybody could probably assume that, but I think a lot of people sometimes think that when people work remote, it's like, oh, they're so lucky. And we are so lucky. Anybody that works remote, I know it's not for everybody, and some people that work remote, probably it's their worst nightmare. It is a blessing, but I have to say I'm very thankful and I am blessed that I get to work from home, but I worked my butt off to get this job. Like, when I was job searching after college, it actually had nothing to do with COVID. My internship in college and the job that I had before this one was remote. Again, had nothing to do with COVID. It was before COVID, and it was just because I didn't live where our corporate office was, and I loved it. So despite COVID, I just knew that I wanted a remote job, and so I worked my butt off to find one, and I just finally, after months and months, and I'm not joking, probably hundreds of job applications and cover letters and LinkedIn connections and everything, I finally found this job, and it is quite literally my dream job. So to say all that, if you're looking for a position or really anything in life that you have a goal for, don't stop, because you will get there eventually. And that's what I learned with trying to find this job. But yeah, I think that's my favorite thing about my job. And also, I absolutely love my manager. I know that, like, that's weird that one of my favorite things about my job is the person in my job, but like she's so nice and I could not do my job without her. So yeah, and I also love the marketing aspect of it. Obviously that was my major, so I don't know, I really like my job. Like I said, it's very demanding and it's very stressful at times, but I like what I do, so it makes the demandingness, is that a word? And stress worth it. If you could live anywhere, where would it be? I would say probably somewhere in the Carolinas, probably North Carolina. I just love the weather. I love that it's so much warmer than Indiana, but it's also not sweltering like Florida, and you still kind of get that fall weather, so you can wear like cute jackets and stuff, but it's not, you know, like negative 16 degrees like it can be here sometimes. I've vacationed there a few times and I have family that lives there, and just the overall, you know, they have cities, but it's not as crazy as LA and New York and things like that. Like I would just love to live there. That's the goal one day, so we'll see when that happens. What is your favorite food? Anybody that knows me, sushi. I could live off of sushi. I'm not joking. I don't know what it is. I have eaten it since I was like old enough to. I think you're not supposed to give sushi to kids under 2 years old, and I'm pretty sure like as soon as I turned 2, I want to say the story that my parents told me is that they got like sushi at a restaurant, and you know, most kids when they're that young they just get rice, and me being the crazy 2-year-old that I was literally peeling the fish off and just wanted the fish, like the raw fish. I didn't even want the rice. So that's kind of funny considering that's the opposite of most kids, but that is where my addiction started. Best concert you've been to? Okay, so before COVID, obviously I loved going to concerts. I think 2 of my favorites were, I know this is so basic of me to say, Justin Bieber and Black Bear. I think I know which one is my favorite, but let me give a little bit of a backstory. So when I went to the Justin Bieber concert, it was in Chicago. I want to say it was either an Allstate Arena or the United Center. I think it was in the Allstate Arena. I don't know, one of the two. I don't remember. It was when I was a senior in high school, so it was a while ago. And in terms of production, oh my gosh, it was incredible. He's also an amazing performer, but we did sit pretty far back just because those tickets are so ridiculously expensive, and my parents gifted me them, and they also paid for my friend to go. We weren't like super far back, but we weren't close enough that we could really have like an intimate concert with him. I mean, it's Justin Bieber. That arena had tens of thousands of people in it. There's really no way for it to be an intimate concert unless you were like absolutely front row. But that, in terms of like production, they had like floating trampolines that he was on and like all this crazy stuff. It was so incredible. But I think that my overall favorite has to be a Black Bear concert that I went to. I want to say this was right before my junior year of college. It was on my 20th birthday. And I went again with my same friend, Kaylee. She was in one of my last vlogs, and she went to the Justin Bieber concert with me as well. We've been to so many concerts together. And the reason that I loved this Black Bear concert is because not only is Black Bear probably my favorite artist, him and Justin Bieber and like Machine Gun Kelly are all up there pretty high, but I think Black Bear is probably, I hate like saying that because I love Justin so much, but I think Black Bear is probably my favorite artist, and we saw him in the House of Blues. It's a lot smaller of a venue. It was after Lollapalooza. We didn't even go to Lollapalooza. We just went to the House of Blues, and it was just such an intimate concert. We were on like a balcony, and it was the only balcony in the whole place. He was like pointing up at us. We were right in the front of the balcony, and it was just so amazing. And it was actually a very, you know, it didn't have all of that crazy production, which is so fun sometimes, but at the same time, like, I don't know, it was just such an intimate, cool concert, and he was so close, and like, he is such an incredible performer. Like, I cannot even tell you. His music is amazing, and I think he's even better in person. So anyways, sorry, that was like such a long tangent, but I love him so much, and Justin. But there's a special place in my heart for Black Bear. Who are some of your favorite YouTubers? So I'm just gonna go off the top of my head. I think right now one of my favorites is Brooke Michio. I feel like I can just really relate to her in a lot of different aspects of her life. So I really like her. Bebe Hey is one of my favorites, not only because of her videos, but also I'll slide up on her stories and stuff all the time. I even messaged her asking her for recommendations of places to go in Vegas because she lives there and I have a trip planned there. It got postponed because of COVID. I'm not sure when we're rescheduling it, but it's gonna happen eventually. And so I was just like thinking one day I wanted recommendations. She sent me this whole long paragraph. She's literally the sweetest ever, and her videos are amazing, so love her. Allison Bickerstaff, again, I feel like I can really relate to her with different things. I'm trying to think of who else I watch. Oh, Gemma Louise Miles. She actually is, she lives in England, and I love her. Her accent is so cute. I know she would like listen to me and think that I have an accent, but obviously I'm American and she's British, so she has the cutest accent, and her videos, her and Allison Bickerstaff, the aesthetics in their videos are insane. I think that those are the main 4 people that I normally have been watching recently. I have so many YouTubers, but those are the 4 off the top of my head that I really love. Favorite places I have traveled. I think my favorite place that I have ever been has been Turks and Caicos. I went there for my grandparents' 50th anniversary trip and it was amazing. Now, I don't know if it was because we had like my whole dad's side of the family there and it was so fun to have such a big group, but that was really amazing. It was so much fun. I had so much fun on that vacation, and I honestly, like, the resort we stayed at was gorgeous. That island, or those islands I should say, are just absolutely incredible. I've been to the Dominican Republic and the Cayman Islands and St. Lucia. I've been to a lot of the Caribbean. I'm very blessed to have gone to all the places that I have been, and I just love the Caribbean in general. I think Turks and Caicos was my favorite, then St. Lucia, and then I think the Dominican Republic and the Cayman Islands were about the same. I actually really liked both of those too, because when we were in Turks and Caicos and St. Lucia, it was more of like a tourist resort that we went to, so it was kind of very like Americanized. But what I liked about the Cayman Islands and the Dominican Republic is when I was there, we kind of traveled more and got to learn more about the locals and the culture and things, so I really liked that too. It was 2 very different experiences with St. Lucia and Turks and Caicos versus the Dominican Republic and the Cayman Islands, but I really liked both experiencing the culture and then kind of that like more vacation-y vibe, I guess. So the Caribbean in general is probably my favorite for sure. Current favorite song. Hold on, let me go to my Spotify. I don't know, that's so hard. Okay, so I was gonna say As I Am by Justin Bieber on his new album. I love that song so much. I also have really been vibing with Die For You recently, which when the album first came out, I wasn't huge into that song, but now I really like it. But the song that I have been listening to the most recently is Heartbreak Anniversary. I wanna say it's pronounced, oh, I don't even know how to say it. Giveon, I don't know, I'm so sorry, I'm probably butchering that, but I'll have everything up on the screen obviously so you guys can see. I have just been loving that song recently. It's so good. Next, when are you and Ricky getting married? We've talked about getting married and getting engaged so many times. We've been together for like 4 years now, and I don't think either one of us is going anywhere at this point, and we've both agreed that we want to get married. It's just that like I'm literally 22 and he's 24, and I know a lot of other people are ready to get married when they're that young, but it has nothing to do with each other. It just has to do with like we are both so career focused right now and focused on growing professionally and growing our finances and, you know, growing together as a couple before we make that commitment. I think that, I mean, we're both in the place that we could probably get engaged. I think that like we also want to like ball out on our wedding, not necessarily in terms of like money, but we just want it to be like such a fun celebration with all of our closest family and friends. So we would really like to be able to save up more money towards that. But I think it just really boils down to like, I feel too young to get married. It doesn't have anything to do with him or the amount of time that we've been together. We could have been together for 10 years by now, and I still feel like I would feel too young. Like I just feel like a baby. I'm only 22, so he is definitely my person and I plan to be with him for the rest of my life, and I know he feels the same about me because we've discussed it. We talk about getting married and having kids and buying a house all the time, but like we just feel too young still. And on that note, how many kids do you want? So Ricky and I have talked about this, and I think we've come to the conclusion he's more on the side of like 3, maybe even 4. I will not have 4 kids. No, that's not happening. Sorry, Ricky, love you, but that is not happening. 3 max. I'm cool with 3, but I've always said, and this is gonna sound bad, but I'll explain. If we have a boy and then a girl and then a boy, or if we have 2 boys and then a girl, or if we even have 3 boys, I'm cool with 3 kids. But if we get 2 girls in a row, I will not be having a 3rd child. And don't roast me because I know that sounds mean, but I'm saying that because I grew up with only 1 sister, and I just know it was already so much from my mom with the little divas that me and my sister were with just 2 of us. So I could not imagine having 3 girls. God works in mysterious ways, so who knows? But I think that 2 to 3 is definitely like Ricky and I's sweet spot. No more than 3. Okay, and I am going to end here on these last 2 questions, but somebody asked what my Starbucks order was and somebody else asked me what my Dunkin' order was. So my Starbucks order, I'm gonna give you guys 2. So my go-to coffee drink is a venti cold brew with oat milk, sugar-free vanilla, and caramel drizzle. It's basically a more coffee-based iced caramel macchiato. It's not, because iced caramel macchiatos are made with espresso, but in terms of taste, I feel like it tastes kind of similar. If you're really a coffee guru, you'll probably fry me for saying that it's like an iced caramel macchiato, but the flavors in terms of the add-ins, like the caramel and the sugar-free vanilla, is similar. So that's what I get for coffee. But my new favorite Starbucks drink, I just posted it on my story the other day, is a, hear me out, it's not that hard to order, I promise, venti mango dragon fruit refresher with 2 pumps of sugar-free vanilla, or regular. If you want regular, I just get sugar-free. No inclusions, light water, regular peach juice, and a splash of coconut milk. Guys, it is the perfect summer drink. It's so good. And then my go-to Dunkin' order is a medium cold brew, again with, I normally get almond milk there. I'll probably switch over to oat milk if they have it, but I don't know if they even have oat milk. I don't go to Dunkin' all that often. Although Dunkin's food is way better than Starbucks food, but I think Starbucks coffee is better than Dunkin's coffee. So anyways, I get a medium cold brew with almond milk and caramel swirl. So that is my Dunkin' order. But I am going to end there. I hope that this was fun for you guys. You get to learn a little bit more about me. I also just realized I'm totally lying. This is not my first Q&A. My first video was my first Q&A, but this is my first video that is a Q&A since that one at the very beginning of my channel. I also, when I hit 10,000 followers, which I'm far away from that, but I have a plan that I'm not gonna watch my first video. I haven't watched it since probably the first month of having my channel, so probably since May of last year. I am not gonna watch it until I hit 10,000 followers, and then I'm going to force myself to sit down and rewatch where I'm at when I hit 10,000 subscribers. I'm gonna rewatch my first YouTube video ever, and I'm not letting myself watch it until then. So that should be very interesting. Make sure you stick around. But again, I just wanted to tell you guys how incredibly grateful I am for each and every one of you. I cannot believe how different my life is since I filmed that first YouTube video. I had just moved back in with my parents because of COVID. I was stuck in the house all the time. I was in, you know, my bedroom, and now I have my own apartment with Ricky, and so much has changed. You guys have watched me move. I now have, let me check what I'm at right now, 3,000, and we just hit 801 subscribers in a year, guys. When I first started my channel, my expectation was to hit 1,000 subscribers in a year, because that was even very overzealous, because on average I think it takes 2 years to hit 1,000. So the fact that we're almost at 4,000 in a year, like, I seriously cannot say thank you enough, because if it wasn't for you guys, my channel would not be where it is today, and I would not have the means to have the channel that I do. Like the camera that I'm vlogging on, the systems that I use to edit, like all of that is literally funded by you guys watching my videos, because if I didn't make the small amount that I do right now from YouTube, like that's how I bought my camera, and that's how I pay for my monthly subscriptions and things like that. So honest to God, like if it was not for all of you guys that support my YouTube channel, I wouldn't be able to do this. So I really appreciate it because outside of, you know, the expenses that my YouTube channel costs me, I love doing this. When it boils down to it, creating content is what I want to do for the rest of my life. That's what I do in my 9 to 5 and what I do outside of my 9 to 5 with this YouTube channel. Creating content is truly my passion, and like I've said a million times, I couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you so, so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Happy 1 year.